Recently, I was conducting a workshop on how to give great presentations when one of the audience members asked me if I knew of any strategies that would help them with delivering important statistics. And I thought about it for a moment, and I remembered that there's this powerful strategy that I use from time to time that really ensures that the statistic that I'm trying to share with my audience really hits home. It's very straightforward. You write it down on an index card, and this does two things. Number one, it helps you ensure that you get the statistic right because there's often a lot at stake. If you get the statistic wrong, you can lose credibility, or there can be other ramifications by giving people false information or the wrong information. But the second aspect of it is it sets up a very powerful visual optic that will help ensure that the audience member realizes that what you're about to share with them, the statistic, is very, very important, because essentially you've paused midstream in your presentation to deliver something that clearly is of importance. And you bring to light the fact that you wrote it down on an index card because it's so important, you want to get it right. And so the whole act of delivery, as well as the fact of writing it down, becomes the way to deliver the message. So I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm talking about the importance of being able to deliver powerful presentations. And I'll say, and there's a very important statistic, or a very powerful statistic, that I want to share with you that emphasizes why this is so important. And it's this. But because it's so important and I want to get it right, I've written it down on an index card. And then I slowly bring it out of my pocket, and I look at it, and I say 78%. 78% of surveyed executives, according to the Wall Street Journal, have fallen asleep or have admitted to falling asleep during a presentation. Let that sink in for a moment. That means 3 out of every 4 of you in this room. That means this part of the room right here, well, you've all fallen asleep during a presentation. Maybe not you, but in any given room, that's roughly how many executives have admitted to falling asleep. And that's why it's so very important to make your presentations lively and powerful. And so this is a very basic and very simple example of how to really emphasize a statistic. You write it down, bring emphasis to it by saying, you know what, it's so important, I wrote it down. Also add a degree of social proof to it by saying the source of where it was. And I got it wrong, but it was supposed to be the Wall Street Journal, which is a reputable source. And just bring attention to it and repeat it a couple times, put it into perspective. And a way to put it into perspective is if you have a room and the statistic is, let's say, 3/4, which is roughly 78%, you just say, well, this group of you in here, you represent 3/4. And so the people in the audience can get a visual representation of the statistic that you're trying to provide. So this is just one strategy. I hope it works for you. My name is John Godoy, and I'm a communications coach. I work with introverted STEM professionals who want to learn how to communicate their expertise. Contact me at john@johngodoy.com or 312-804-8498 to arrange our first session.